I'm Coffee Kevin. Today we have some rare, historic, and golden footage. It's of a conversation I had with Erna Knutsen, whom I christened the Queen of Green. Green coffee, that is. Let me back up. When I first got interested in coffee, Australian roaster Ken Stevenson introduced me to green coffee importer Erna Knutsen. She instantly became my favorite coffee personality. She reminded me of my mother, and we both related the same way. I could phone her a month between calls and pick up mid-sentence where we left off. Best of all, she was outspoken about all things, especially coffee. I admit I became a bit of a disciple. Reviewing this conversation between us reminds me how much my coffee tastes were guided and formed by this wonderful coffee-free spirit. A little background. Erna worked as a secretary for BC Ireland coffee importers. She was a quick study and rose to sell coffee beans quite successfully. However, for years, she was not allowed in the cupping or tasting room, where men only were allowed. In the 1980s, coffee started to switch to newer, larger, and more corporatized coffee farms, mostly in Asia. Erna saw both these out-of-date coffee farm concepts, and she really didn't understand. She saw that these farms were not selling coffee to anyone else, to the big guys anymore, and she also saw a new growing number of small batch roasters using new Michael Civet's air roast technology. And she saw an opportunity. She bought out BC Ireland, went solo, and picked up these often smaller farms and their ancient smaller yield coffee varieties that had become too small yield and too precious to service the big guys. The availability of these coffees and small shop roasters were a great combination. This synergy gave Erna both suppliers and customers. That makes a business grow. Erna called her coffee specialty coffee. Are you with me? Here, after many years, is part one of that conversation Erna and I had nearly 12 years ago during the production of Coffee Brewing Secrets. I think you'll enjoy it.
We have the best Yemen mocha I've ever had in my life. We've had it for now 10 years. Ismaili. Oh, it's heaven. I'll give you a pound.
Oh.
It's $7 a pound, green. And they charge, I don't know, you've been in stores, but it's a wonderful coffee. We finally found one that we think is worth the money. And it's great. Outside of that, I think Kenya. Do you like Kenya coffee? Oh, it's the king. That and our Sumatra. We've won so many prizes with that coffee. And it's my favorite coffee. Next to Kenya, next to I love every coffee we sell. It's like a love affair. And we buy the best.
Fair trade or organic, do they really mean anything?
Well, organic I guess does, yeah. But I'm really tired of the labels, except people want them. They really do, especially in the West. They really want fair trade. They want organic. They want bird friendly, Smithsonian approved, toilet trained, everything, you name it, And, well, not toilet trained, but, I mean, you could tell by looking at a coffee. This, for instance, is a Guatemala organic coffee. It's better than any straight Guatemala that we have. And I'm not afraid to say that, because people say, I don't want organic. I don't want to start that in my shop. Just give me good Guatemala. Well, here it is. Just pretend it's not, bird friendly and all that. This is one of the best coffees we have, Guatemala.
Let's say someone's really just starting to drink coffee. How should they pick coffee when they buy coffee? I'm talking about how would they pick it when they go to
the first coffee
Yeah.
that they should taste. I hate to say, probably a Colombian. Everybody loves it. It's pleasing. I like it, but it's not the most interesting coffee I have. Brazil. 25 years ago when I worked for that big coffee company, the Brazils were absolutely, well, You didn't recognize that they were Brazils. And now, oh God, the Brazils. I get them from an ex-banker in Sao Paulo, and he just started growing them about 5 years ago, and I get all his, and it's all organic. And my God, I have a list of people that want it, and all I've got this year is 50 bags. So everybody get it, 2 or 3. It's a perfect Brazil that you could drink straight, and believe me, that was not the case even 10 years ago. So, but it blends with everything, and I just love going to meet the farmers, every country that I buy from. Meet the farmers and you talk, and they realize you may know a little something, so they don't try to, fool you and pretend that their coffee is the best. But I do a lot of research before I go, like Kenya, for instance. Oh God, have you ever been to Kenya? Oh, we have a supplier there who is, yes, his father was the one who started all those game reserves. William Holton went there and all that, all over. And when he died, this is funny and sweet. When the father died, I met him long ago. His son Jeremy, that I buy from now, had to fly to Switzerland to settle the estate. So not everybody in Africa is dirt poor, picking coffee, but the coffee is superb, and I have to charge about $6 a pound, green. That's a lot of money, and you really have to be in love with Kenya coffee. It makes your heart beat faster. And anyway, and then decaf is always hot.
What is it? Do you believe the Swiss water versus the other processes? Is that how you pick a coffee?
No, if it's good, I buy it, even though it's Swiss. Now, nothing against them. They started the whole thing, but now their roaster across the bay was bringing in what he calls select water process. It's very good and doesn't cost as much as Swiss. So, let's see. The KBW is a classic. It's done in Germany, and the Germans do it well. So, anyway, but why decaffeinate a coffee? Well, I know why. My daughter buys Pete's coffee, buys a half a pound of decaf and a pound of regular coffee, blends them. I mean, I don't know.
I have a question. Is there a decaf coffee that tastes as good as a regular coffee yet?
Boy, I have to tell you, I don't want to do much experimenting there. I don't want to do much cupping. Decaf can be good. It really can. I'm just kidding. Because half the world probably doesn't want caffeine as much as caffeine. But I cup every morning, sometimes in the afternoon too. And I always spit it out, but when it's very good, I swallow it. Woo! I have a nice buzz by 5 o'clock. No, I'm only kidding. But for instance, this is interesting. It comes from a very poor Caribbean place, Haiti, and it's not bad, but no. In fact, cold it's good. Well, it'll be good with ice cream too. But I've never used Haitian coffee. Have you tried it? Have you tasted it at all?
I thought it was pretty good. Is
Really?
there? I thought it was good, but I thought it was a little bit harsh for me.
Yeah.
It wasn't quite.
It is. It's
smart.
not smooth. Costa Rican. Let's see what else there is. All the Central Americans. I guess though my favorites are Sumatra and Kenya, and they're diametrically opposed. His Kenya, their Sergi would drive you crazy. Good, I said, and then Sumatra, heavenly, syrupy, thick, sweet, and wonderful. And they're both. Don't you think they're top coffee, John? Oh. Are you on the phone? Sorry. Oh. Don't you think they're top coffee? Do you drink?
I do.
You.
Sumatra's probably if I had to choose a desert island coffee,
That,
Sumatra.
Exactly. That's what I would do. Yeah. That's what I bring home. And, well, I bring, every week we get new coffees in. So I like to bring it home and try it. And then that's the acid test. So you have to cup everything. You can't just say, oh, my Colombians are coming in today. Cup. That's what I like, though. Cup and spit and say, okay, this is it. And I always make notes. And then John and Cecil, I say, okay, tell me your opinion. And same with the other. Because, nobody's infallible.
Does your opinion ever change? Do you?
Of a coffee?
Yeah.
Taste again the next morning, yes. Yeah. And then you say, oh, my God, why was I in love with that? Or, wow, this tastes good. For instance, this tastes much better today than it did yesterday. Hot. It's worth a thought. Would anybody buy Asian coffee? There's such a tumult there, and the people are so poor, and you feel like, oh, well, then buy it and support them. That's what I'll do. That'll be my angle.
It's like the Rwanda. I think people buy Rwanda because of the.
Yeah, that's an emotional thing.
There can be an emotional sympathy to it. Now, I don't mind if there's some of that, but I still like the coffee. I'm still going to drink it.
Yeah, I don't care. Colombian, perfect. Everybody's safe with Colombian. And let's see, Kona. Kona's about. I think we're bringing some in from organic for a private estate. All we have is 10 bags, and it is heavenly. I mean, nobody's doing organic coffee in Kona, and here it is, wonderful lady who's doing it, and we're going to write a newsletter about it next month, or stick it in our newsletter, because it's worth having. Christmas, wouldn't it be nice Christmas present?
Oh, cool. How about Jamaican Blue Mountain? Is it worth it?
Oh yes, we've been bringing it in for 20 years. Went down there. I've been down there 3 or 4 times, but I really can't tell you my adventures because they're sort of mixed. But now I buy them from an English farmer, and oh, it is good. You have to roast it. You can't over roast it. But now it's about $20 a pound green. I mean, you have to love somebody a lot, right, to bring them a little box. But Pete's, who buys pretty little gold boxes, half a pound probably. I don't know what they charge, but it's a lovely idea. It's just that, there are a lot of other coffees that are really tremendous. Zimbabwe, where they can't grow it anymore. I mean, the natives have taken over, but they feel it's hard work, and it is. So, but Zambia, we have some lovely Zambia now, punchy African, And well, what else can I tell you?
Costa Rican.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It can be wonderful. We have, I guess, 2 or 3 suppliers there. One of them is the Dota. Once you have a good coffee from any country, you tend to stick with it. People say, I hear you have a really wonderful Costa Rican. Yep. And they say, wow, that's different. So much fun because you talk to the farmer and you know you're going to have a relationship for a long, long time. The same way in Guatemala. I'm trying to think what other coffees. Organic is very big, you know that. And I have to go with it. I really have to go with it. And fair trade I believe in, because I think the farmers are getting something out of it. I hope. I'm pretty cynical. How about you?
I'm cynical.
And there's so many good farmers in Ethiopia. One in particular. All I have to do is look at the marks, the central marks, and I say, that's his coffee. I can get it again. It'll be exactly the same wonderful coffee. I love Yoga Chef. Harar. Oh, God. Wonderful. I mean, it's such a fun thing because here you have the best of a product. And I never feel bad about charging because I have to pay a lot of money for the coffee. And that's it. You can always cheapen out a couple of roasters. We used to have middle-sized roasters. They're still in business. They say, Erna, your prices are not good. I said, yeah, but my coffee, oh, God. Yeah, but people don't appreciate it. Well, baloney, they do. My business has grown every year. It's just, oh. And we're going to Kenya, I think, probably February, to just see the people picking and all that. I went there one time, and we went up to the hills, sort of. My hair was very blonde then, and I think it was kind of curly. And we looked down the road, and there's these rows of beautifully dressed school children in uniforms, and the teacher. And they looked, and I smiled and said, hi. Well, they came running up the hill, and they wanted to touch me, I mean, it was weird. It really was. But it was so joyous. Ethiopia is having a wonderful time now. The Yoga Chef, that's my favorite Ethiopian coffee. And the Harars, of course, are like Yemen mocha, but they don't match it. People who buy it think they could do a mocha Java blend, and Javas have lost it. They really have. And I'm still waiting 20 years later for a really fine one again. But, just, it's a wonderful combination.
What do you need to make a good mocha java? What are the two coffees you need?
Mocha and Java. Unfortunately, Java is not what it used to be, but still, it's Java. This year, in fact, I think that it's going to be the best Java in about 10 years. And I've cupped one. And when you get a good Java, you can drink it straight. It hasn't been the case for about 10 years. But they should be half and half, or a central that's not offensive. Something that won't affect the taste too much. But
Like a Brazil?
well, that's pretty. That
Or
would
think
make
like
the
a-
blend
like a
very
Costa
nice.
Rican.
Yeah. Well, Costa Rica has a little acidity. Yeah. You could do that. Guatemala, I guess. But don't give people ideas.
Okay, yeah, we want to go there. Now, what about blending?
We have one customer, two ladies, and they buy really fine coffee. And pretty soon they're in Per Se, New York. They're in the French Laundry up in Northern California. And they're in the two French, we have breakfast. He picks me up at 7, and we pick a place with good coffee and the best pastry. They both happen to be French, and they both happen to have this coffee. Can I say the name? Oh, not.
Yeah, sure.
Equator Coffee. Two ladies run it from New York, and they're both terrific backgrounds, not in business, but and charm. And they buy wonderful coffee. Well, Per Se, I mean, God, it's elegant, expensive. To walk in the room, it costs $25. And he buys it. They hold their price, and it's our coffee. Oh, what a joyous thing.
Wow. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. We'll show you more at a later date. I'd be remiss without thanking the late John Rapunchik, Erna's companion for many years, who was so kind to both Erna and me. I love them both. Erna was a great supporter of my projects, and when she could no longer travel, she would always ask about CoffeeCon. We're always looking forward to our next event. I'm cautiously optimistic that we may yet still hold an October Chicago area event. Should the quarantine be upheld through that time, we're considering ways to move online. Subscribe. I love doing these video segments. Hopefully it's a fun part of your day. Follow us so you'll be in the loop on CoffeeCon and the world of specialty coffee enjoyment. I'm Coffee Kevin.